Hi, this is Grace Chamolu from Product Management Festival. Thank you so much for joining us for this information session on the Product Management Executive Program. At any time during today's session, feel free to send your questions over to the chat window on the side of your screen. I'll go ahead and show you a few slides, and then we'll be sure to save some time for you if you have any questions. What is the Product Management Executive Program? It's an accelerated executive level leadership development and advanced product management program, and is brought to you by Product Management Festival and INSEAD. What I'm going to go over today is the program, what it is, who is it for, how you would benefit, the faculty as well as a program schedule, some of the feedback we received, as well as an overview on the application process. For those of you who don't know us, Product Management Festival is an organization whose mission is to amplify the impact of product management globally, not only on the products themselves, but also on their organizations, and to help product managers be more successful. We have been hearing from the people we meet through our annual conferences and local initiatives that there was a desire and need for more resources and training, not just for the standard product management and leadership topics, but also for areas more relevant at the executive level. As product managers' careers progress, their roles shift to start focusing on more strategic areas, such as shaping and influencing the organization. Therefore, the standard PM education becomes insufficient at this point. And so we partnered with INSEAD, a leader in executive education and the #1 ranked international business school 2 years in a row by the Financial Times. So through this program, you will gain the tools, knowledge, and know-how to lead effectively and to amplify your impact on the organization. Our upcoming programs will be held on the INSEAD European and Asian campuses. The next one coming up in the fall on the 2nd through the 6th of September will be in Fontainebleau, France, right outside of Paris. And then in February, 3rd through the 7th, we will be in Singapore. And then next year in June, the 1st through the 5th, we will be back in Fontainebleau. And I'll just make a note here that each program is independent of the other. So you don't need to go to both campuses or go to multiple sessions in order to complete the program. The 1 week program is the entirety of its program. This program is for current and rising product management executives. It will be relevant to those who are transitioning into the executive level and wish to accelerate their learning or be more aware of what areas will be needed to be developed, such as a different level of communication or execution as you make your next career move. It's also for current product management executives who wish to refine their executive level skills. Sometimes we don't have the benefit of a mentor, and on-the-job training can sometimes only go so far, especially if you are entering uncharted territory with the company. This program can help expose you to additional tools, scenarios, experiences, and processes that could help you. We will be covering advanced product management topics, so it will be taught at the level of someone who already has a fair number of product management experience or at least exposure. And how would this program benefit you? I'll go through 5 reasons here, but there are many more. The first is acknowledging and developing your leadership style so you can lead yourself and your organization through growth and change. At the executive level, you have so much more power, but as the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. So it's critical you understand your leadership style and how you impact others. And you can develop your capacity to exercise your leadership effectively and responsibly within your organization, because then you can better understand how to affect change. As product managers progress in their careers, their responsibilities start to shift. We rely on our ability to lead through the organization, ability to influence and navigate through networks, and to get the job done. And at the executive level, this ability to lead and influence continues, and with greater impact. If you thought being a product manager was tough, having all that responsibility with no authority, just think of how it will be having to influence stakeholders at the executive level and who are all your peers. I found this quote to be interesting. It was from a Forbes article, and I found it rather insightful. The dynamics will change. You are now going to be a leader to a group of leaders. The second benefit is effectively building, developing, and retaining your teams. And that requires an understanding of your impact on group dynamics. I think it goes without saying that it's pretty hard to grow and develop a product team if you don't have a good hold on retention. Turnover costs can range from 93 to 200% of an exiting employee's salary. And I'll also note that this comes from an article that's titled Voluntary Turnover. They usually leave their bosses, not their jobs. If you need to scale your team, retention is key. But this is also not just about being a good manager. This is also about understanding your impact on group dynamics, on how to effectively use your networks, on how to scale a team in a sustainable way, and how to develop and manage product management culture. Most of us need to work hard to learn how to be good and effective managers and leaders. And as that responsibility grows, I challenge you to strive to be the executive that great team members would want to work with, or be the executive that you would want to work with. Complementing the leadership sessions, we will have product management specific sessions that are taught by guest speakers who are currently heading up their product management organizations at their companies. They will give you insight into what they've learned, their successes and mistakes, and provide you with practical, actionable information that you can apply or look into applying once you get back home. Some of us don't have the benefits of mentors, especially at the executive level where there are fewer PM execs. Or there are mentors available, but they don't have insight into what product management specific challenges that you might face. This program can help with that. And while many of us learn from on-the-job training, which I'm a big fan of, sometimes we don't have the luxury of time to learn from our mistakes. Sometimes we also don't have the financial leeway to make too many large-scale mistakes. So learn from those who have come before you. And as I like to think of it, don't repeat mistakes that you can already sidestep. If you're going to need to make some mistakes, go make new ones that you can learn from. Another benefit of the program is the focus on critical softer skills that are often overlooked. Many feel like they've worked on areas like communications, negotiations, networking, and think they're all set. But these are skills that always could use refining. And now you're in an executive role where you're communicating with groups. You may communicating with groups that you may not have had to before. A board, investors, strategic partners, the press. Your words have farther reach and bigger implications and impact. Your communication can potentially affect stock price, land or lose a key client or partner, trigger a lawsuit in extreme situations, but the list can go on. You'll need to be ever mindful of your communication style and other soft skills. This program will help you refine and strengthen those skills and increase your self-awareness so you can maximize those soft skills to your advantage. Finally, I think we've probably all have heard now how important it is to network. Most organizations don't have teams of product managers around, so sometimes we hear how PMs feel they're alone in their situations. But after meeting other PMs, such as at events like PMF or local meetup groups, or reading articles and books, they realize that many of their problems are actually experienced by so many others. This program will be bringing senior level product managers together. You will not only learn from the faculty, but also from each other. You'll become part of a community from which you will reap the benefits for years to come. This program is not possible without our faculty. Our program director is Noah Askin, who is assistant professor of organizational behavior at INSEAD, and he also teaches executive education classes and the organizational design and leadership courses in the core MBA program. Noah has also received the Dean's Excellence in Teaching Award. We will also have a group of guest speakers who are PM executives at their respective organizations, and they'll be coming to share their lessons learned with you. In the interest of time, I won't go through each of them, but you will be able to find more information about them on our website. For each program, we will have a mix of NOAA and INSEAD faculty, as well as 4 guest lecturers. And so every program will have a different mix of faculty who will be teaching. So I just wanted to share with you that. This is a sample schedule that we have for the program. Over the course of the 5 days, we will have 3 days, the light green ones, of leadership. And that will be led by Noah and the INSEAD faculty. And so he will go into topics such as leadership and understanding your own leadership style, how you are impacting others, using, for example, informal authority such as power and status, and leading change without the usual lack of authority, but yet you have all the responsibility. And there's also 2 days, the dark green ones, that are on product management specific topics. And this will be taught by our guest lecturers. And so they'll talk about topics such as scaling the PM organization or the product, managing the product portfolio, stakeholder management, and then more on the metric side, such as managing impact at scale. And so this is basically a mix of leadership as well as advanced product management topics. And it's not all just lecture. We will also have case studies, workshops, group exercises, and so it'll be a nice mix over the course of the 5 days. So it will help break things up as well. One question we get a lot of is what the feedback has been for the program. And so I'd like to share some brief highlights with you now. This is a feedback sample from one of our classes. For example, of the 25 participants in this group, we had 9 C-levels, 4 were CPOs, and the others were CTOs, CMOs, and COOs who had product reporting to them. We also had 7 vice presidents and heads of product and 5 director and senior product management levels. They came from throughout Europe, US, and Russia, and hailed from companies such as Booking.com, WeTransfer, Zipcar, Shipstead, and many others. The overall program has an NPS score of 86. And when we asked what was the single most important reason behind recommending the program, here's a sample of some of the comments that we received. The content is precisely for the product leaders. There's so much valuable knowledge in just the 5 days. Often commented is the quality of the sessions and the group discussions and the networking potential and ability with their fellow classmates. And also it's a very stimulating program and a group experience. So how can you become a part of this unique program? To apply for the program, you can visit our website at pmep.education or email us at exec@productmanagementfestival.com for an application. The program brochure is also available as well if you'd like for more information. The applications are due to INSEAD by the deadline for the respective program, and those deadlines would show up on the website. You You also, once you've submitted your application, you'll receive an acknowledgement from INSEAD acknowledging that you've submitted your application, and then you'll receive an admissions notification from them subsequently. And then the dates for when the admissions notification will be provided will also be on the website as well. And so the process would be that you would submit an application, or you can even reach out to us if you'd like to reserve a seat. If you want to reserve a seat while you're trying to get through your approval process or while you're filling your application, you can also request to reserve a seat. And then once you get the application in, it goes to INSEAD, they process it, acknowledge that they received it, and then they will provide you admissions decision, after which point then you will receive information from the program coordinator about the course materials and logistics type of information. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email at exec@productmanagementfestival.com. So just a quick recap, we have our fall program coming up on the 2nd through the 6th of September in the INSEAD campus right outside of Paris. And then we'll have our winter program in Singapore in early February, and then we'll be back in Fontainebleau in early June for next year. It's a 5-day program, 3 days that are in executive leadership and 2 days on the product management specific sessions. And then the tuition is €9,200. And for more information and the application form, you can go to pmep.education. As we wrap up, I wanted to share a graphic that I saw courtesy of Noah from a presentation that he did on the skills needed for a product manager. And he encapsulates very well what is needed to be a senior level product manager. It's the brains of an engineer, heart of a designer, tongue of a diplomat, and my favorite, the herding skills of an Australian shepherd. We understand the types of challenges that you face as a product manager. And this program can help you become a stronger product management executive and help you amplify your impact on the organization. So thank you very much for your time today. Once again, feel free to reach out to us at exec@productmanagementfestival.com if you have any questions. I'll go ahead and take a look at some of the questions that might have come in. So one of the questions that we receive is on what does the tuition cover? So the €9,200 tuition covers the program materials, the catering, and the program sessions. I will make a note right here that it will not cover the accommodations. So one of the other questions that we received was more about the accommodations. So what happens is that once you receive an admissions notification and you've been accepted, then the program coordinator will reach out to you to help you arrange for accommodations. INSEAD does automatically book you a room on the official hotel that is associated with the program. And that's just to make sure that you have a place to stay, because sometimes they have multiple different types of programs going. So we want to make sure that you do have a place to stay. The program coordinator would then reach out to you about the logistics and finalizing of the booking. If you want to make a change after that point, you're welcome to, and you can make your own accommodation bookings, but you do need to let INSEAD know that you want to cancel the one that we made on your behalf. But otherwise, I would say majority of our participants do stay at the official hotel. And it's just usually because it's very close, as well as most of our meeting points and information is all provided at the central location of the hotel that we are staying at. And then at the end, when you check out, the financial responsibility would be on the participants. Will there be organized activities at the end of the program, during the program? So there will be, but not every day, but it will be, for example, an opening dinner, closing dinner. There'll be a couple of networking events. And the idea is just so that we know that 8 hours in a classroom, 5 days can be a lot. And it'll definitely be broken out throughout the daytime, of course, with a lot of breakout sessions, and there'll be some breaks, and there's a lunch, of course, and those. But then outside of the classroom, we also wanted to provide opportunities for you to be able to meet and talk to your classmates in a less formal setting. And so in that sense, we have a few organized events. And then there's also a couple days where there's not something organized, and this would be an opportunity for you to do something a little bit more ad hoc. And I know sometimes, because taking 5 days off from work, you might need to catch up on some emails, etc. And so that just allows a little bit of flexibility. The organized events are not mandatory, but I would highly encourage you to participate in them, because it just provides such an excellent opportunity to be able to meet and discuss with your fellow classmates as well as with the faculty. And then there's one that also came in about whether the same faculty members will be teaching for all the programs. And so I mentioned this one already before, but I will just clarify here. So for each session, there will be INSEAD faculty that will be leading the 3 days, primarily Noah, but he oftentimes will also have other faculty join him for his 3 executive leadership days. And then on the 2 product management specific days, we will have 4 guest lecturers who will join us. And so the mix for each program does differ. And that's just purely because the product management guest lecturers, their day job is leading their product teams at their own organizations. And so schedules come into effect. We try to work out how the schedules and topics and locations all match together. And so that's why it's a mix, a different mix each time. So I think that looks like those are all the questions that we have. Feel free once again to reach out to us at exec@productmanagementfestival.com if you have any questions, or feel free to just reach out to the website, pmep.education. Thank you so much for your time again, and I hope you have a good day.